welcome back to 2.5 days. This week, we've got the full 2.5 days. Last week, whenever I was missing for 2 weeks. Fuck's sake. Aye. But we're back, all three years, and we've got a guest. We've got Sylas Sabozlai.
Hello.
That's why I wanted Ryan to do it.
How did he?
That's why I wanted him to do it. Right.
No,
Was it close?
What are you going for? What are you going for?
Suppose.
He plays in the midfield for Liverpool, do you know?
That makes sense. I was like, okay, right.
I'm not right. Because I've heard that a
You're a
few
football
times
guy.
and I'm going, right, and that's must have been getting in my head.
Aye.
Oh.
That is
You were
why.
right.
That is why I wanted him to do it.
It's Subwich, but it was very
Sabowicz.
close. That was very close.
So Sabowicz. No,
Yes,
right,
kind
no, right, because every time somebody says you're too nice and you just say, aye. But we're not right apart from
Here's
it, right?
the thing.
Right.
It's not your fault that Hungarian is not related to any European language on the fucking planet. I
But-
mean, very distantly.
You're speaking our language, the least we can do is say your name right.
Aye. But you can't. I've accepted it that you can't. It's
Right.
okay.
We're going to do it now, we're going to teach people.
Right, okay. So
Because I always
it's-
think like Jerry Sadowich, but
So
with
they
somebody with
are.
a piece in their mouth, like Sadowich.
I got called Sylas Sadowicz once, so that was funny. I've been called Shia LaBeoufs. I've been called Zabolics.
I think I called you that. I mean, I called you that the jungle.
That's quite good though.
Aye,
Silas
Silas-
the bollocks.
Silas the Bollocks, yes.
No, it's Zabowich, I think I tried to say.
Yeah,
That's
so
what I
it's Subwich.
think.
Right, do it again.
I'm just realising how much I fucked up.
Aye, no,
Didn't
we on
fuck
you.
it, it's fine.
I was trying to think it in my head.
So look at Subwich.
Yeah, so you're very close. The thing is, because we have a dark L, so it's Subwich. There's an L at the back of the mouth.
Subwich.
And it sounds like a W when you... It's a bit like, imagine if like Sean Connery was saying like, Subwich.
Subwich.
Yeah, but you're still doing a Subwich. There's no w in it.
Subwich.
Yeah. It's a bit hard because, again, like it's a completely different language. And it's so distant from everything else.
So is
in
that like
Europe.
a trait? Like we use a W rather than that backwards L or that back of the mouth L kind of thing? Then? Is that
No,
like a
because
common? No.
from what I know, the English language has the dark L as well. That's what it's called. There's the light tail, which is... I've done acting, so I'm about to get geeky on you, right? But there's the light tail, which is... I don't know. Say a word with light. Like, you know, it's just that light, you know. You know what I mean? It's that and the dark L is like if you say bottle. Like
right.
It's at the back. Bottle.
Bottle.
You don't go bottle. It's a bit further back.
I say bottle. Is that it?
Right, yeah. Like Scottish people actually find it easier to say it.
There you go. I was thinking Welsh might have had a better chance at it as well because you have that double L kind of thing. I think.
Yeah, maybe.
Aye, that's
Yeah,
really good.
that's
That's Middle Eastern. Salis Sawa.
So
Right,
I'm
so
glad
we've got the name. We've got the
Yeah.
name done.
Yeah. But I go by Silas because fuck me.
Aye, and did you? Is Silas Shaw just out the window now?
No, so I'm using Silas Shaw. Here's the thing, right?
Shaw's acting in it.
Shaw's acting because when you like auditioning or you're just getting submitted for roles, and let's say 500 people are submitted, and out of those 500, 490 are gonna have British names, and you're going for a guy called James. Let's say that's the part, and you're the guy that's got Sylas Subwich, and they're gonna be like, yeah, okay, there's the other 490 we're gonna deal with before we get to you. So I thought Silas Shaw sounds British enough. Let's see what happens. It's an experiment, you know.
all right, cool.
And then maybe down the line I'll be able to change it back once people can get used to me doing local parts.
See, I'm smashing this name at the part now. Silas Subwich.
Subwich.
See, I'm kind of turning into Shaggy halfway through it. Subwich.
Yeah.
So
I like it when people say my name like that. It really turns me on.
Subwich. I'm just fuck it. I'm leaving it.
You're saying it too much now.
I know.
It's okay. I'll
innit?
explain it to you later on today.
If I say it one more time, you're going to appear
I
in
think
the
you
mirror.
got to say, did you see me on the counter? Subwich.
I mean, yeah, that's I think that's the most heartbreaking name of having like a Hungarian. A heartbreaking part of having a Hungarian name is it ruins the sex life. It completely ruins it. Just like what do you want to call me? Don't call me daddy because it's weird.
Aye, Silas is a cracking name though. I think.
do like Silas,
Aye,
yeah.
Silas. Is that your real name?
No. So you want me to get even more geeky, right? So Sylas, the reason I picked it is because when you say Sylas Subwich, you keep the same order as it would be in Hungarian.
right.
So in Hungarian, it's surname first and then your first name.
Right.
What?
And my Hungarian name is Sylas, which became Sylas,
Right.
and Subwich, which is my first name. And I made that kind of my surname. So that way I'm like,
right.
best of both worlds. But it turned out that I needed to change it for acting. So we'll see what happens.
That must be a nightmare to get a disclosure done.
I know,
like a
aye.
PVG.
Yeah.
All right. Easier than some, I think. But
Easier than some. Yeah.
so acting then. I saw you in Guilt.
Yeah, I was in Guilt.
That's
cool, man.
crazy.
That was good fun.
I've got that downloaded, just that one episode, and I've just watched that scene. Like,
Yeah, and I'm also in episode 4 as well. 3 and 4. Or is it? I think it's 3 and 4, yeah.
The one when you're drinking the whiskey. And you're
that's
like,
in-
this is-
yeah.
And you're just playing that backwards and forwards for any particular reason.
I know him. I say. I used to do that with a role.
I mean, I don't say my name. I don't say my name in the series, so that's not going to help. But
No, I know that's true. Are you down as Sylas Suburge? And the credits and that? Aye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had to update my IMDb and be like, formerly known as Sylas Suborge, but now as Sylas Shaw.
Ah, cool.
All right.
So is that like a recurring thing then? Or was that just for a couple of episodes? I've not seen Guilt yet. So.
Nah, that was only a couple of episodes.
Right,
I don't want to spoil anything, but
Right.
I true to form, I play a Eastern European corrupt politician. I don't want to spoil it, but it's like,
Oh dear.
it's quite funny because they made up an Eastern European country, but they were like, yeah, use your Hungarian accent. It's all good. So, it was like dropping hints, but not saying much, It was fun though. It was a great project. Fucking everybody was class on it. Like,
Brilliant.
I got to like spend time with the 2 leads, which was Jamie Sives or Civis. I don't know what's the correct pronunciation. Somebody correct me.
No, we're not
There's
good.
enough
We're not
correcting
good with
here.
last names.
Call whatever you want.
and Mark Bonner. So the 2 of them were fucking
right.
class.
He's
And
a-
I
yeah.
met Bill Patterson because I've got the scene with him. And he was also class.
Ah, cool.
Matt Bonner's a handsome. He's a good some bit of
Jesus,
kit, isn't he?
Yeah. We ended up. So I'm gonna say but kind of we. There wasn't a screening, but like a get together, like a few months after it, before it was supposed to come out, and we ended up going to Cat House.
What?
Fucking yeah, just Mark Bonner going mad with it on the. Just what was it
metal?
like? Yeah, just metal, but it was like they were playing John Bon Jovi and just. It was fucking going mental. It was class.
Oh, that's mint.
Yeah.
So what other stuff have you done on telly?
On the telly, 5 o'clock news. No, nah, that's for TV. That's been about it, to be honest. Yeah. So I've been trying to get back on it. That's why I changed the name, done some accent trainings to figure out, see what I can do. Because
cool.
been in Glasgow for 10 years, so for London, I sound Glaswegian enough. You know what I mean?
Aye, true.
For Glasgow, no, but for London, I'm like, what's happening, mate? You're getting stabbed, pal. Like.
So is it mainly kind of like stage stuff you've done? Or?
A bit of mixture of stuff, but I actually just went into stand-up because I love doing it. And it did seem to be a bit easier to get into because y'all don't care what I sound like.
No.
And I become Sandwich, Symbolics, whatever. And we have a cracking time, So, yeah.
So is that the reason you just get into stand-up? Then was just because it's kind of...
I've always loved it. I grew up like just binging. Just George Carlin, Eddie Murphy, Eddie Griffin, which is why I talk a lot about how hard it was to grow up as a black kid in America. The struggle, but of the projects. But no,
See, we're saying this. I remember when
drive-bys that I've survived,
when I was in primary school, we used to send shoeboxes to Romania full of toys and stuff like that. Didn't you used to do that?
We done
You
it to
were
Africa.
Ethiopia, aye.
I was Malawi.
Interesting.
Aye, we must know about a lot of
Fucking
petrol. languages.
shoeboxes, man.
Aye,
like,
I was sure
gifted kind of thing.
We done it to Romania and we done it to Bosnia. I mind always like sending her like shoes and stuff to Bosnian kids, and then they ended up beating us at football. And I'm like, you fucking learned how to play football in my shoes, you
I
bastard.
also love the fact that some Bosnian kids like, oh my god, we're getting help from the West, and they just open it, just a fucking your food stank just hits them like
We're getting food from Scotland. Oh no, less nutritious food.
I was like, what kind of fucking cheese is this?
Well, it's pre-Mark Essentials. What's going on here? But so what age are you, if you don't mind me asking?
29.
What?
I'm turning 30 this year though, so I'm embracing it. I'm leaning into
you
it.
doing anything big for it?
Well, but I've wrote an hour of comedy about turning 30, so that I guess that counts. Not on an entire hour, but there's a lot about that. I don't know. I still haven't figured out if I'm going to be here, if I'm going to be back home. So we'll see how it goes. But, I'll do something. 30's a big one.
Aye.
Last year I got roasted on my birthday.
Oh,
Comedically.
Not spit roast.
I might do the other one this year.
That'd be a good birthday.
That's fair. But,
I did. You know what I did last year? I did an ice bath.
Ah, cool.
My first one, like an actual ice.
Nice.
Because fuck it, you know,
Aye.
I'm cool. One of those pricks. There's the acting coming out of me. You know, I do ice baths and I do intermittent fasting. I'm not vegan yet, but we'll see how that goes.
Depends on the part.
Yeah.
It's just casting.
Vegan for pay, as they say. You know.
No, that sounds a lot cooler than my 30th birthday. I went to a Magic the Gathering tournament on my 30th birthday. Yeah.
I mean, that sounds pretty cool. I'm not
With
gonna lie.
my nephew, who was like 13 at the time or something like that, because nobody else would go with me. So
Okay.
that was alright.
we didn't know him at that point. So
Yeah, so I went to Aylestorm with.
oh, is it? Right.
Just next episode, we always thought he was a good man. There was no signs.
With a purple jacket and a top hat.
Fucking stop it. Right, so 29
Yeah.
in Romania.
Yeah, there's 50 in Romanian years.
Right. So in Romania, 20. So what year were you born then? I'm not good at
94.
maths. 94. So you would have been in the midst of it then. What was the kind of TV coverage, media coverage of 9/11? What was that like?
Actually, I do
That's what I
remember
mean.
it, right?
I was waiting on it.
I do remember it. Oddly enough, I don't know who I was speaking
Well,
to
never
about
forget,
this.
Sylas, surely.
Hi. We all remember
It's
where
on
we
the
were.
T-shirts.
Yes, yeah.
It's on the
Your
memorabilia.
Yeah.
It's on his fridge.
So,
He's got the date circled every year.
Aye.
His
Yeah,
opening
I lost
screen on
it,
his
yeah.
phone.
I lost a couple of uncles on that plane. They tried to fly it straight. But basically, imagine it turns out it was the Romanians all along. They couldn't pinpoint the accent. You know? Y'all went into the Middle East for no reason. Even less of a reason that you had. Fucking turns out it was Borat the whole time. Just fun fact, Borat was actually filmed in Romania. It wasn't filmed in Bulgaria.
That was Kazakhstan. He was supposed to be fit.
Oh yeah, but yeah, actually true. It's supposed to be filmed in Kazakhstan, but he filmed it in Romania, and some of those Romanian villages are still pissed off at him because he went over and just like pretended it was a documentary or something, and told them that it was a documentary, and then the guys found out that he was saying, "Oh, they do abortions in this house." And they were like, "Why are you saying this about us? Like, these are like especially traditional Christian people, like Greek Orthodox, serious.
Oh my god.
They crawl to kiss bones and shit. You know, like it's serious business." So they were like, "What the fuck? Why am I?" They're known for something they have never done. Wow. Yeah. So that said, Borat is hilarious. Anyway, the 9/11 coverage. So, all I can tell you is I remember visiting my uncle and the TV being on, and I just remember they just started bombing. Was it Iraq they went into first? Or
No, it was Afghanistan. First.
Afghanistan, they just started
yeah.
bombing it. That's what I remember.
Right.
Just seeing on the telly of like these green flashing lights you saw.
Oh, I the tracer
aye,
rocket
aye.
or fight rounds going off and all
yeah,
that.
yeah. That's all I remember from it. Because like again, I was fucking 2001. I was 7.
Aye.
I was it's primary school. Like I was in basically just I think I just graduated first grade, something like that.
Wow.
So yeah, I was.
It just came back to me where Hingy, because we were at school and people kind of didn't tell us really what was going on. I heard teachers saying things, didn't really know. Get home, was eating my dinner, watching Blade, because Blade had been on the telly the night
Yeah,
before and
yeah,
we taped it, right? So we're watching Blade, eating our dinner, Blade finishes, and then every channel was just that kind of thing. It's such an odd.
I mean,
that's where,
Yeah, the coverage of Western news in like Eastern Europe is a bit different, obviously, because we have our own shit to worry about. You know,
Aye,
we
that's-
have
that's what I
Russia
was
right
kinda
next
getting
door.
at.
Still, it's getting closer. But basically, it's like you have your local news, and then be like, "Oh my god, the Americans are doing this," and like, "What's happening all the way over there?" Because for some reason, you know, whatever America does, it affects the rest of us. Like Americans vote, and the Middle East gets bombed. Like that's how this, you know. So yeah, it was just being aware of something that's happening, something that's big, but it's not exactly like it's not like our politicians were that involved with it. Although I'm pretty sure we sent some troops as part of NATO. So yeah,
Is Romania and NATO?
yes, yeah. They better be, because otherwise the Americans on soil don't make sense. But yeah, they are.
So
is-
no, there's still a few Eastern European countries still not in it.
Ukraine.
Like Ukraine wasn't in it. There was
Was it Finland that just got into it now?
Sweden is as well.
Yeah.
Is Finland in there?
Belarus isn't in it.
Well, yeah, Belarus is not going to be in it.
No, are they not kind of siding with the Russians, or they were kind of like helping them?
I mean, they're going to have.
I was just trying to think Eastern European countries because I realised I came out with that and then realised I didn't know any other ones.
I was waiting. I was like, what's he going to say?
Imagine he just Wakanda's in it. You know? Was it the famous one with Tom Hanks, like Brogozia, Krakozia is in it, you know, all the classics.
Yemen.
So it always does fascinate me when somebody can speak 2 languages fluently.
3, but yes.
What the fuck? How
I mean, because
do you do that?
just there.
Sounds
like,
like
I know, but
ethnically-
that's the thing. It's like just do it.
Well, no,
People
you-
can speak other languages or just
Because his library hasn't got a pedo painted outside.
steal my
There's
jokes.
no a sign. But no, so basically, because I'm ethnically Hungarian. Obviously, I grew up speaking Hungarian, which I actually struggled with because we have like quite hard R's. Not that way. You learn so much about our language.
You commit, you really do commit.
No. But no, so like we quite roll our R's. We're very rhotic. And so I used to say like a weird H. So I had to, it took me a while to actually learn Hungarian. But then because I grew up in
How's
trans...
H said in Hungarian?
I mean, no, it's ha, but I wouldn't say r, I would say h. I would struggle with the
So is it
rolling my...
Hungarian kind of?
No, it's not h, but it's like h. It's like a softer thing.
That sounds like the exact same thing to me. It's not her, but it's her.
You went French in the second one.
No,
No, but in the same way, like, that is similar to like British because you say here, you know, like it's the same kind of
okay,
sound. But for some reason, I used to say like carrot is repa in Hungarian. I would say repa. You know, I would really struggle with that sound.
Really?
Anyway, that's just a little detour. So I learned Hungarian then because the national language is Romanian, because it's Transylvania is part of Romania. I was gonna be like for now, but no, I guess there's a whole historical thing going on there.
Is that it saying kind of Gaza Strip then? Is that what you're saying? Like,
Not quite. No, we haven't been bombed. No, basically, it's just because like there was historically it belonged to like Hungary for a long time. It was a Hungarian nobility ruling class, and then there was a significant Romanian minority in there as well. And then the world wars happened, and for some reason, both of them, Hungary was on the wrong side, and the losing side as well, and they just got split up and got given to Romania because of the massive Romanian minority population.
All right.
So, national language Romanian, and then so I learned those two, and then we studied English pretty much from like kindergarten.
really?
See, that's
Like we
how
had
it works,
Eeny
man.
Meeny Miny Mo,
Aye.
Catch the Tiger from like. And I remember in kindergarten learning Eeny Meeny Miny Mo.
So see, whenever you think then, do you think in English or do you think in
So
Romanian
now,
or Hungarian? Or?
so I've got this policy where I try to, if I'm at home, I actively try to think in either Hungarian or Romanian, so I keep it active. But and then outside, whatever comes. But I'm trying to, because the less you speak, you know, a language, the more likely you start losing words.
Yeah.
And yeah, that could be a bit annoying sometimes. So I'm trying to keep them all alive. Okay. And I also dabble in German, but I didn't pay as much attention as I could have, or I should have. So there we go.
I honestly think it's the coolest thing in the world to be able to speak 2 languages, 3 languages.
But it's like, if you actually like start doing it, it's not, it sounds difficult now, but like you picked up English without even fucking thinking about it, really. You know what I mean? Like,
It always seems as if English is the hardest because all our words are kind of similar and all that. And, you're saying it's no because you can speak it?
No,
Well,
but
fucking use
I've
it.
got a mate, right? He's got a 720 odd day streak on Duolingo
Aye.
in Spanish. I says, "Oh, can you speak it then?" And he's like, "No, it's just reading and writing." He's like, "I'm like, can you read and write?" And he's like, "No much." And I'm like, "You wasted 2 years of life." So I would imagine learning languages. I never gave a fuck. Like, see, when we learned French, Spanish at school, I was up my back making
English.
paper aeroplanes.
oh, you've been missing out on Latinas, I can tell you that much.
So do you remember your first gig? We always like to go back to
First gig, yes. I did my first gig in 2014 I took a break for the
Oh.
record. But I did 8 gigs in 2014, and the first one was a Thursday Vesbar Virgins, which became Yes Bar.
Aye.
Was ran by Graham Barry. I wore a crocodile onesie. Do not ask.
We will.
And I was supposed to do 5 minutes, and I did 14. Because I had no sense of fucking, like, I wrote out the material. It was 5 minutes at home.
yeah,
But you could just see Graham just gently pacing in front of the stage. But yeah. Because I had no sense of timing. Obviously, my first time doing stand-up, and I was nervous as fuck.
I bet it means you do fucking 3 minutes.
I done 3.5 for my five.
That's crazy. To do 14.
Well, I just did the stuff that I wrote down. And
Was it working? Were they letting you stay on?
some of it was working, some of it wasn't. It was a mixed bag. But yeah, that was the first gig. And before you ask, okay, crocodile onesie.
Yes.
Basically, I used to work for a place called Cook and Indies World Buffet in Glasgow. Classic.
Oh.
And that Easter, they had the genius idea that we should all wear different animal onesies for the kids. Because, you know, Easter and all the animals.
You know, the crocodiles that when you rolled the big
Easter.
stone away from
Aye.
Jesus' cave and that. Like,
Yeah, so this is. I was like, it would be class if I just wore a crocodile onesie and didn't reference it the whole set
I like that.
for no reason. And I remember actually, like, as I'm going up, Graham looks back and he sees the onesie. He's like, "Oh my god, the next act coming up!" Like he was like, "Oh fuck, it's about to go down." And I actually made a joke. I was trying to make sense of the crocodile onesie, and I was like, the reason I'm wearing a crocodile onesie because it's Easter, and obviously, the resurrection would have been a lot more interesting if Jesus was eaten by crocodiles, and that was my whole thing. It got the same thing back then, so got the same reaction.
Steve Irwin could have fucking saved them, and that would have been a whole different world we'd
Is he
lived
still
in.
alive at that point? Oh no, he would have been dead there.
Well, aye, in 0 AD to fucking 33 AD whenever Jesus
I'm
died.
talking about when you were in
When
the...
Silas was on stage.
So you
He said they done 14 minutes, no 14,000 years.
The 14 centuries. It felt like it though.
So you said you started in 2014, and then
Done 14 minutes in 2014.
Did 8 gigs and then stopped so I would focus on my acting training.
Ah,
And also like, so was it 2015? Yeah, 2015 I had a fire in my flat.
cool. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So luckily it wasn't anyone's fault. It was like an electrical appliance that
Aim the
just...
hot.
Huh?
Aim the hot.
No, nobody got hurt. Everything was okay. Thank fucking all got sorted. But
Including
it
the
did shake me. So I moved down to England, and my dad was in England at that time. So I just had to regroup, went down, and then moved back up a few years later to like pursue my acting training and stuff like that. And then here we are.
Good.
So did the crocodile onesie succumb to the fire?
I'm pretty sure I threw that out before. And I started growing it out, man. Like it was literally like you could see my ankles and stuff, and it was getting a bit sad. It was like a human trying to stick it out of a crocodile. It's a bit odd. But
Well, she
I
thought-
did-
Oh, sorry.
No, go on,
You
go
go
on.
first because I've got a story.
I wasn't gonna say. I was like, I did do a stupid thing, which nearly got me stabbed. Which walking down Socky Hall Street, I was so excited about my onesie. We stopped at a red light, and I looked at this person. I was like, "You want to see my crocodile?" And I pulled it out of the bag. They were just like, "What the fuck is wrong with this guy?" And my pal was like, "Don't do that." And I remember going, "Imagine if I had said, you want to see my croc?" And yeah,
So she
Still
thought
alive.
about going on stage and no referencing things like that, right? In fact, it was in front of Graham Barry, I know.
aye, it's true,
Aye.
actually, aye, so it was.
So I'll put on a gig last week, and I was on it. Sean Chalmers, Graham Barry was headlining Con Higgins, right? It was a great gig. But I've had this idea for ages. I
Jackie
wanted-
Logan as well.
Jackie Logan. Oh,
yeah.
aye, brilliant.
Shout out
She's
Jack.
really, really good.
But I've always had this idea where I want to go on stage with a Hoover and no reference it. So I awkwardly went on the stage with a
Very
Hoover.
fucking awkwardly.
He's standing waiting to get past me, and I'm like trying to put it down, and I'm trying to hang it. Done my 10 minutes, and then went, "Thanks very much, Troops." Picked up the Hoover and left.
and left.
Never referenced it once.
There was bits falling off it and everything. And then when I went back and sat down, it's like, what was the Hoover? I'm like, don't fucking ask, man.
Did anybody get it?
It worked, no, but you get
folk
people.
after the show were like, oh, what's Hoover for? I says, just to make myself laugh. Just for, and one woman, one woman's like, can I get a photo with you and your Hoover?
So he's in a photo with a woman holding the Hoover up.
But she's like, put it up as if you're using it for a microphone, and I'm standing here with a full Hoover. Like,
I mean, it could be worse.
What are you talking about? You fucking brought a Hoover to the gig. I know, try to blame the woman.
Jesus Christ. That, you know what the thing is, I learned my lesson that time is that sometimes something's really funny to us. We have the context, but people on stage are looking for a gig, so you come out with a Hoover and they're just confused of like, what? Because they're in their mind, they don't have any of the context.
Aye, but that's what makes it funny to me. And
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
the full point.
There are some things you need to do for yourself.
Aye.
True.
That wasn't there to make anybody else laugh. That was there for me.
Aye.
Just to
I
tickle my
normally
balls.
go up with a dildo tucked in my trousers.
Your boss with
No,
the
but
Hoover.
never reference it, never acknowledge it. Sorry, I
Sorry,
should have said it. Normally I have a butt plug that I never bring up during my sets. Keeps me on my tight 5, you know.
well, it's fine. That's how you get 14. There we go, Slaughter. Bringing it back, aren't we?
There was comedy in it after all. Years down the line, we mind it.
So you've got a show then coming up in the.
Yes, I do. 15th of March in Tennant's Bar on Byers Road. It's called Sylas but Deadly.
That's a good tune.
Cracking name.
Yeah,
a
shout out to
belter,
Kyle Samuel because his idea was the title, and I just fucking ran with it.
Nice.
So, yeah.
We don't talk to Kyle Samuel anymore because
No, you don't. You don't.
he was slagging me for being bald, and they two just sat and let it happen.
Were you being bold at the time, or
Well,
was like
last
last
week. I'm bald, aye, so I can't really.
Last week.
Last week, Kyle was on the podcast, and
Al, wasn't it?
Al wasn't he? And he says he often gets Al confused with the guy for the Crystal Maze.
But what one is the question?
They're doing callbacks to previous episodes just to get at me. That's good.
don't let it get to you, big man. Don't let it get to you.
That's no. What if a duck's back to me?
What a half a bald man said.
Aye.
You know, sometimes you gotta draw a hairline.
I don't mind being bald. I'm alright with being bald.
There's
but
nothing
just,
wrong with being
I'd
bald.
like people to stick up for me. They're meant to be my pals.
It's the least it doesn't affect your health in any way.
No.
I can't even remember this happening, though, man. Really, to be honest.
I can only remember the clip.
Aye.
He's crying.
Aye. That's
He's like me
standard.
dead now. I want my mates to dig up for me.
Pretty. I think that's asking too much, but there you go. So I'm trying to think of more
Paul Tudor
language
had a
question.
fucking lovely head of hair. No, that was Paul Tudor, one of the guys that done the Crystal Maze. So I was confused.
Who's 10 Paul Tudor?
The guy that was the non-baldy guy, the next one after the baldy guy. Paul
didn't-
Tudor.
Aye.
Don't you fucking eye? You don't know what you're talking about.
I watched the Crystal. I've probably seen near enough every episode of the
I
Crystal Maze.
know
there
about
is
the Crystal
no
Maze.
chance you could have seen every
Me
episode
and
of the
my
Crystal
dad
Maze.
watched it religiously.
Hey, I'm from Romania. I know about the Crystal Maze. I've seen clips from it. So like I haven't watched it, but I know about it. So
But you've not watched every episode. You can't watch every episode of the Crystal
Challenge
Maze.
TV's for it.
Challenge TV
Mind
and
Fort
Dave.
Boyard?
Oh, Fort Boyard, man, that was another level.
Because then you had that dirty. No, that's his
Dirty
name.
Den, aye.
Dirty Den.
All right.
And then you had
Melinda
that other
Messenger.
dirty Melinda Messenger. She was a page 3 lassie with honking cans on her. But, and they were in like a
was wild,
castle.
wasn't it? Aye.
But that was
the middle of the
basically.
French, like the sea in France or something
Aye,
like that, wasn't
it
it?
was-
Just off the coast of France.
It was basically just Crystal Maze with tits.
And then
Really?
I mean,
that's Channel 5 out of the back,
Aye,
isn't it?
so
Like,
it is, aye, Channel 5.
and Dirty Den would come up and like try and be the villain. He would just be like, "You're never going to do this, you're fucking shite," and then walk away. And Melinda Messenger would let them in to try
Aye,
and do the
she's
quiz.
like, right, come on, follow me. And like, fucking, here we go. Fucking, it's flying all over the place. But do you know about Dirty Den?
no.
Oh,
EastEnders.
Welter. So he was, what was he?
EastEnders.
EastEnders. He was in EastEnders,
Right, okay.
and he get caught having like a what they called again? Like a webcam chat with somebody, and he's sitting like sucking his finger and all that, and like fucking rubbing his nipples and shit.
Is that why he got called Dirty Den? That wasn't his character's name.
Well, I mean,
Wait,
a bit-
is
a
the
bit of
actor
both.
called Dirty then, or is the character called Dirty
The
then?
character's Dirty Den.
Right.
But he was called Dirty Den because he served his wife divorce papers on Christmas Day. But then also because he was playing with his nipples in the webcam.
Nipplegate.
And that was probably in dial-up at that time, man. So
I know, aye. Going like fucking done.
good gone.
Imagine those pixelated Japanese nipples, man.
So there you go, there's Dirty Den. You
There you
don't think
go.
you'd know about
See, actually, I remember
See,
the AI thing. I was gonna say, I was gonna bring up an AI controversy that's happening right now in the
Oh,
US, which is some of Donald Trump's fans, voters, followers have started apparently. So this might need to get fact checked, but I've seen the photo. They started creating AI images of him hanging out with black people to make him more appealing
Oh my goodness.
to voters, and it's just different AI images of him with like, there's a bunch of black dudes in the hood, and then here's it like a family gathering, and just like smiling, and there's obviously like
And just realistic as in, because obviously
got-
Mid-Journey and that's getting so much better as a program.
a realistic.
Americans, aren't it?
He's got a shine to him. It's almost like he's been a bit photoshopped. Like you can tell there's something up, but it's getting dangerous, though, man. It's
Nah,
getting
it's
fucking
wild,
freaky.
innit?
I'm not gonna lie.
It's going to be some seriously mental disinformation in this next election run. But now we've got an election happening this year in this country too. Shit's going to be bizarre.
The world's fucked.
And if you thought Brexit was bad,
Yeah,
Good
there's a
segue.
hey,
So, get out. No,
I will not be spoken to.
no.
He's just telling you one of his favourite films. He's into all these kind of
Aye, the
yeah,
black
yeah.
guys and that, and aye.
Get it out or get it in.
Never
What a
seen
black
Get
guy.
Out? No. You ever seen the film? No.
Nah, I've seen it. I've seen it.
Aye, so we're all right. So, Brexit.
Aye.
How was that for you as a Romanian Hungarian?
User stuck with me, and I got my passport and my citizenship. So get it up,
Hey!
yeah.
Was there any kind of like? I don't.
Was there
it's
a difference
quite-
in the atmosphere? So it really depended. There was a bit of a chill. Now, it's different for everybody. The thing with me is because I don't sound that Romanian. I
do.
get, and also I kind of own it.
Aye, true.
Like I kind of own it. I'm not like, yeah, I'm
Aye.
Romanian, because I know Romanians that we're like, oh, we're Turkish or we're like Greek, and I'm like, I say something in Romanian, they perk up, and I'm like, I fucking got you. Don't play games with me. But I should work for the Home Office.
They're saying that's not how you say carrot, by the way. That's- you need to roll your L.
Give me that hard R. But basically, no. So what? It was interesting because I was living in Windsor at the time. I was working in Windsor as well. Well, I was living outside of Windsor, but working in Windsor because I'm not that rich.
What, Legoland?
Sorry.
Is that no one?
Yeah, near Legoland, And I was like, all my pals, like, I didn't notice any difference towards me, but I have seen articles of like people getting soup thrown over them and shit like that.
Really?
Yeah, there was something in London. Somebody
Kind.
had like coffee poured, like thrown at them for like speaking Romanian with their pal. It's not like they're fucking, making it your problem. They're talking amongst themselves. And then I was working at a restaurant. I'm not gonna name it because it's a big brand, big chain, but.
Marsbins.
Huh?
Marsbins.
Aye,
They sang
no.
me,
Aye.
so
No.
just name it.
No. Basically, one day, there was two separate incidents. One of the waitresses, she was Polish, and there used to be this guy that would come, and we always thought he was giving us weird eyes, weird vibes, and he went up to her and he was like, "Oh, where are you from? Poland?" And he went just like, "Well, you're gonna be the first to get kicked out." Yeah, like this is just the waitress mind their own fucking
That's
business. Like, what's
fucking
wrong with
bizarre,
you?
man.
So there were things like that, and then one time somebody kicked off and started shouting like, "Oh, you Polish bastard," something like that to one of the managers. So that was like around that time, right? But overall, obviously, many people have moved back since then because they just didn't feel welcome. I was minding my own business, doing my own thing, and I was just like, you're stuck with me pretty much. So I handled it.
Aye.
Aye, that's
So,
a
but
nice
yeah,
way.
there have been cases I have heard, I have seen things like that. So there was definitely the people that felt this is our moment took advantage of it.
I just don't get that level of thinking, though,
Aye,
man.
no.
Innit? It's just.
It was all the Britain first and the UKippers and all that carry on.
But you have to keep in mind, like I genuinely believed, like I still believe that the Brexit vote wasn't necessarily about like, oh, we don't want immigrants or we hate immigrants. Some people might say, "Oh, we don't want immigrants for economical reasons," which is a whole different conversation.
Brexit
But it was more
fucked the
about
economy.
a country's pride being a bit hurt as well. I feel like, and they're like, "No, we want to fuck it. You don't tell us what to do." So it was that element. So there was definitely an element of national pride.
I think there was an element of people thought it was a shoe in that it was going to be a no vote and thought I'm not going to bother Mars even going
That
to
too,
vote
yeah.
today, and then that slimmest of margins.
It was a slim fucking margin.
Because think of this: Scottish Independence Man had an 84% turnout or some shit like that, and it was just was it even just our 50% of people?
45% voted no and 55%.
No, but I mean, like for Brexit, like the turnout wasn't anywhere near as high.
No, it wasn't
It
as
was
high.
like
No,
in
no,
the
no.
50s or something like that, rather than the 80s. I mean, the 80s is like the highest you'll ever get. I mean, the actual general election will happen this year, and you're lucky if you'll get over the 50% of people.
Yeah. Because people get disillusioned, man. I'm not
I've
gonna
gave
lie.
up
Like,
in politics. I've gave up. I'll not vote. Can't be bought. It's a joke. You shout and you scream and you fucking hingy. I remember the last general election. I was fucking out there rioting. I was posting Facebook all the time, trying to get folk to know. No, even try to sway them one way or another. Try to get folk out to vote, and then we're still end up my fucking Tory government. It's an absolute joke.
Aye, but you still got to vote though. Otherwise, you've got like
Listen,
come back on it.
see if my arse is getting raped. I don't want to vote who's got to rape me, right? Politics is fucked. America's fucked. It's all fucked. World's
I mean,
fucked.
here's the thing.
This
It's
is why I just get
that was a
politics.
hard R, I think you call that.
it's I get where you're coming from, and for me, like I haven't voted yet, even though I'm a citizen, for a number of reasons. One, I grew up Jehovah's Witness, so I'm not actually I wasn't used to like thinking about it voting because we're not supposed to as witnesses, right? Nah. And then I think this year I'm like, okay, I actually want to be involved. Since I'm here, I'm living here. I decided to stay here. I'm gonna get involved, but it does seem like choosing the lesser of two evils quite often. Like you don't feel good about any of the choices. Just like, well, it's not the worst, I guess.
But we'll still end up with a Tory government.
No, I don't think you will this time.
Hopefully not.
No, we shouldn't.
We'll just end up with a
pull their
really
strings and they
annoying
help them
Labour
make it.
government.
Say that again.
We'll just end up with a really annoying Labour government.
I know that's what I mean. Fucked. Right, so
Anyway.
but if I spent so many time on Brexit for being a Jehovah's Witness, this is what I want to know.
You want
What's
to know about
happening?
witnesses?
Aye.
What do you want to know?
Everything else apart from champing your door.
That's
all I know about
I
them.
did that. I did at
Did
the
you,
age
aye?
of 14. I was fucking, let me tell you about Jesus and shit. Basically, I was born into it. My dad was a heavy-duty Jehovah's Witness, still practices to this day. My mum wasn't into it, but then from the age of 8, my mum wasn't in the picture for a number of reasons. I kind of just to respect her privacy. I kind of leave it. So I just grew up with my dad, witness boy. I was very much into it. You know, they have their own version of history and geography and science and everything. So I was all on board, you know, and it could give you a great cause. They give you a nice little story of like you're on Jesus' side and you're trying your best, and there's Satan's ruling the world and everybody's gonna burn in Armageddon unless they repent. And your job is to like get the word of God out there as much as you can and, you know, live a good witness life. And then hopefully you'll get into the new world and all that stuff. So it gives you a great sets you up day to day of like, was I a good witness today? Yes. Well done, me. You know, like it gives you
like a
gives you a
purpose
mission,
kind of
a purpose, you know, and it's very easy to, like, it's not very easy to reinforce, but it's something that you can always sort of circle back to if you're feeling shit of like, am I doing the thing I'm supposed to be doing?
Right, like a grounding, like a spiritual grounding.
Yeah. I mean, that's why, you know, a lot of sort of online personalities think Andrew Tate will try to sort of sell this us versus them. There's this big fight. You're part of a grand scheme of things. It's, you know, it's good versus evil. Because it feels great to feel part of something bigger.
Yeah.
Even though technically we always are. Like, you're part of world history. Doesn't matter what you do. But yeah, so it's that part of it was fun because you just felt good about, you know, being on a mission. I got into it so much I actually started translating. So the witnesses I was part of are not your usual witnesses. They're like an offshoot of the global one. They were Romanian Jehovah's Witnesses. They went to gulags, came back, survived being left out in the fucking freezing cold and stuff like that. They were trying to exterminate them, right? And so they're hardcore, right? And they would believe in the global witnesses' scriptures or like watchtowers up to 1962. So I ended up translating like watchtowers from the 50s, 40s, 30s from English to Hungarian. And
right.
at some point, that group at the national level of like 5,000 people was studying what I was translating. Yeah.
Probably.
So I was in it and I believed in it. And then from like the age of 16 to 18, I started having doubts between like, around 16 and 16 to 18, the doubts kept getting bigger and bigger, and things weren't adding up with like science and things I was learning in school that were making sense to me, you know, and there was evidence of like, okay, right, evolution, I can see it, okay, and things like that. And I was like, I tried very hard to like sort of keep that faith element going with the science to sort of merge them together, but the more I just tried, I just kept going like, yeah, that's bullshit. Yeah, that's not true. Oh my God, that's made up. And then because I was translating, I would see these articles in their original form, and you start seeing through the language because you're the one that's thinking what I was saying, what they're trying to say. You start actually understanding at a deep level of what this article is about. And I remember one being about how you should use your wealth in a Christian way or something like that. And the whole point of the article was everything belongs to God. So if you're wealthy, you have a responsibility to give your wealth to God, aka
Us.
the fellowship, aka us, aka the God's organization. And me and my cousin were left around the same time. We grew up together, and we were like, this just says give me your money. And we're like, okay, right, okay, we're done.
And did you like for that like gaff the rail bit kind of thing like around? Was it just like a total like backlash?
I just started shagging straight away. No, but yeah, none of that's allowed. You know, the amount of sexually frustrated witnesses I saw growing up was mad. I don't know if I'm spilling tea, but like the thing about like a religion that really, really just sets this fucking rigid lifestyle on you is that there's gonna be a lot of slip-ups, and how they deal with them is fucking fascinating. Like everyone's got their own little thing they fucked up. Someone was a bit of an alcoholic there. Someone tracked someone else they shouldn't have, you know. Or there was a child out of wedlock. Or, you know, everyone's got these like, these secrets, you know. And then, it's just not a healthy way to live, in my humble opinion. But I get why they do it. It did keep me out of drugs, you know, of drugs as a, you know, teenage boy, single dad, Romania, stayed out of gangs, stayed out of drugs.
I've done it
So
so
you
then,
can
didn't
hope
I?
for-
I guess. It did. I didn't need 10 years of therapy, but that's a different conversation.
So when you'd obviously grown up as a witness and stuff like that, and then you were in school and you were learning about kind of evolution and stuff, did you ever argue on the side of witness while you were going through that, or?
Probably might have. I don't know if I might have had conversations with my colleagues, like classmates and stuff. I don't remember any moment where I stood up and was like, no, this is not true.
Yeah.
The earth is flat, sir. Kind of one of them.
Well,
It's like
they're
that
not
kind of-
Earth is flat, but they're more like the
that
Earth
vein,
is
that vein.
48,000 years old. I don't know. It's like it's a young Earth theory. So like every day in the Bible is like 7,000 years, and then we're on the 7th day. There was whole numbers, man. It was ridiculous. Like looking back now, I'm like, what the fuck? But yeah. It's like if somebody gave you the World of Warcraft tomes and were like, this is the history of the world. And you fucking ran with it.
I know.
I know, I could.
No, that's, I wasn't like mad religious to that, but I kind of believed in Christianity and all that up
Yeah,
to like
yeah.
I was probably about that same sort of 16, 17 age, and then I had a mate who was like, aye, but what about this? What about that? And I'm like, what the fuck am I wearing this for? You know what I mean? Sort of like, aye,
Like, so Arthas killed his dad back in 2001 and, you know, shit like that. Like, just fucking mad. Just, it's like looking back now, you're like, it's just fairy tales, but okay.
aye.
Well, I mean,
Mental though.
I don't even kind of think about religion anymore, like whether it's because we don't know.
Doesn't it come in?
You know what I mean?
I
We
don't
don't-
think.
unless it's a certain football game.
Aye. It's the whole firm game, and then you're. I'm never at the
But
pineapple.
I was an altar boy, you know that, and I kind of no believed in it, but I took it seriously, and I done fucking all this.
I'm just laughing because you're someone who hasn't read the terms and conditions but still wears the merch. Like, that's what you do.
Right. Altar boy, right? We need to go deep into this.
Aye, it was an altar boy.
Okay, a lot of yous.
Father.
You know, fucking
Aye, it was an altar
PTSD.
boy for 2 years.
What does that involve?
You ring the bells down there, and you.
Is that what they call it? Aye. They're like, that's what the bells.
No,
Like,
you used to have bells down there during certain songs.
Is that
or
the Morris-
certain-
is that
the
the Morris
bells feel
dance?
fleshy. Is that what
Hang on, wait. Did they give you like sweets like jelly beans and stuff or not?
Only one.
They used to give us a selection book.
Right, altar boys,
I
altar
was
boys.
an ugly altar boy. I never get touched.
I'm just an ugly altar boy.
Well, you're an
Sounds like a band name, doesn't it?
ugly altar adult now.
Aye. So it was just ringing bells.
No, there
Like
was hundreds of it.
Quasimodo here, man.
I know.
He used to be. We did wear green robes.
Ah, okay.
Is that why
Like
you
the
did that?
elves. See?
Aye, and
He used
just
to
ringing
carry a
bells.
big stick, I know. I used to love doing that because you'd walk out in front of the priest with a big stick.
Some of them write themselves,
It was a
don't they?
big
Didn't they?
fucking golden.
Was it? Aye, a big
used
one.
to
Oh,
go
right.
to Grand.
Did it have smoke coming from it, or am I thinking something else? And it had a wee hing?
You're thinking
What
of
is-
the bishop when he
Oh,
fucking.
right. When he's
No, it was just that a big gold pole.
trying to
that
get the
had a
smell of
cross
sex
in
out
it,
of the room.
A crucifix in the top of it, a cross.
I mean, it's
Crucifix
horrible,
it,
man.
Jesus.
But like, oh god, they really like that reputation's not gonna wash off.
That's
No.
never going to wash it off.
Nah.
And there's more. There's always more and more you find out of. Like, what was it, in Ireland? They find these graves.
Aye, out the back of the churches
Aye.
and stuff like that.
Christ.
Underneath them and
Grim.
Aye.
And again, I'm not saying all of them. I'm not even saying most of them.
No.
But you know, I don't want to be
There's
the
a few
Donald
bad
Trump.
eggs.
Aye.
But it does look horrible.
Pedophilia rife in any sort of
Yeah.
it's mental. Anything where there's success
Any
and
sort of
power.
what? Finish that sentence, please.
No,
'cause it-
like, but anywhere there's
Industry,
success
place,
and power, especially power, there's pedophilia.
yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
It's shocking.
Like the big names in Hollywood or politicians and
Aye.
fucking just MD that's got power over MD.
Anybody else that wants to come after you as you talk about this live on the internet?
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, it's kind of mad to think about. Like, I don't know what happens at that level, where you go, maybe. Like, how does that conversation? Like, someone be like, "Have you ever tried it though?" Like,
Aye.
is that a conversation that happens?
No,
Of like
I
your
know
pal
you're
puts a
only-
shoulder on your, puts an arm on your shoulder. Like, have you considered? Have you heard the?
But that's the thing as well. Like, how much
Don't
success?
go on your door.
How much success they've got and stuff like that, and they need to get a thrill for somewhere.
Aye.
It's like,
But that's what I always
don't
get.
knock it till you tried it. Like,
Aye.
Right. This is completely
I'm not
hypothetical.
condoning it.
No, wait a
Aye,
minute.
aye.
100%.
Wait a minute. This is completely hypothetical. But say, right. Right,
Is
this
this-
is what I don't get.
this is gonna be a
Is
black
who
eye.
Yeah,
is
this
the
is getting
first
caught.
person to turn around? See, you hear about these paedophile rings and all that. Who's the first one to turn around and go, here, should we start a paedophile ring? Do you know what I mean? Who's got the balls to say that to their pal?
I mean, to be fair, right? It's not just the powerful that do it.
No.
No, it's not.
Because we all like, even one thing like a lot of Eastern European countries would be like, because they're heavy religious, we're like, well, we're not like the West, we're not depraved like the West. Look at them, and then you find something out that's been kept hush hush because it's so like they don't even dare talk about it, or they don't even dare imagine that it could happen under their noses, right? But it has happened. We've all known like somebody, in like, I'm not gonna say a council estate, but like somebody you're like, oh fuck, like it's something wrong there. To stay away from that person, or that. It's a fucking weird. I guess just money allows them to get away with it.
Aye, true.
but like Epstein's Island, what? Who is he saying? What,
Well,
come
there's
out
a
here?
whole conspiracy about all that.
I know,
and
but I'm
about
just saying, like, who's saying come
in
out here and you
control
can fuck kids? Like, who's got the
Well,
balls to say that?
I mean, when
it
again,
depends how deep conspiracy you want to go in about trying to control people and stuff like that. You'd want to go
I mean,
down that
yeah.
kind of route.
I guess when you feel untouchable by law,
Aye.
you've got to start having different conversations. Like, I'm not comparing the
I would
two,
like
but
to have a different conversation right now.
I'm not comparing the two, but like
I work
corruption,
with
right?
kids in this conversation. I just don't like it.
Yeah,
I tell
fair
my
enough,
kids
man.
that
Understandable.
it
I mean,
creeps, man.
none of us like it. It's not like
No.
someone's like,
Aye, no.
However,
but-
aye.
However, yeah. But like the thing is, like, so I was gonna give the example of corruption when it's when it becomes in a circle accepted, it becomes very much in your face. So in Romania, there used to be stories that you were gonna, cross the border, and before you could cross the border into Moldova, you would give your passport, and the passport you just put money into it, and it was just accepted custom. So like it becomes so everyday if you're in that fucking environment that you just start casually dropping, hints. I guess I don't fucking know, but like I don't want to
Aye.
be in that circle ever in my life. But yeah.
No. I couldn't even imagine it. Like, somebody
Let's
way
not.
kids.
I know.
No,
Aye.
but I mean,
Let's
someday
maybe,
maybe we
remember
get away
this
with
is
it.
a
No,
comedy
it's big
podcast.
cuts.
Aye.
Right. You seen all the Roman Reigns shit on TikTok?
Roman Reigns.
Aye.
What about him?
It's just been filling up my TikTok for about 3 days.
It's just
Man, I know
ignorant.
the. Wow. So shall we talk about Vince McMahon stuff?
Let's not.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Speaking about abuse of power,
Talking about you're only 3 clicks away from some sort of fucking nut job.
I know. We're becoming the Jehovah's Witnesses of like weird.
It's going to be a weird podcast. I was like, I just talked about religion for about the last fucking 30 minutes. That's a 25-minute podcast.
No, but it is interesting watching like how The Rock's coming back in and stuff. I used to be a wrestling nerd for like 2 years, and then I got busy and discovered
women.
discovered sex. Turns out I like it. Turns out the witnesses were wrong. It's class, right? But I was gonna say something really stupid there.
Yeah.
I was gonna be like, it's even better when it's consensual.
Stop it.
Please, cause that is. Yeah, but
Look, I'm trying to walk up on my slide.
I know, that's it. You're dragging us back, doing it?
Basically, I've been listening to a podcast that covers wrestling because I'm fascinated by the overlaps between wrestling and comedy.
That's Hunters.
All right. All right.
Right, Hunters, exactly. And I've been listening to the Jim Cornette podcast.
Oh, he is insane.
He is
Such a
insane.
great man,
Raves
but-
like a lunatic, but very entertaining.
Aye, totally, man. I love him, man. I
No,
used to
it's
listen
a
to
lot
that
of shit, but he's a very traditionalist. Very traditionalist.
He is very traditionalist, but like hearing like his breakdown of, TV ratings, things like that. Of like just to start thinking it in terms of that, of a show and booking it. Because even a comedy show, you kind of booking it because you're like, okay, who am I going to put on? The classic is I'm going to put all my mates on. It's going to be class. But sometimes you go, right, but they have this sense of humor. They have that one. Okay, we're going to put someone lighter in there because, you know. So things like that. So it's kind of
when I
fascinating.
think that was one of my first gigs that I put on, I put somebody on that had kind of like a drier kind of sense of humour first opening it, and I loved him. Like he's a great actor in that. But somebody says to me, like, you need to get somebody out that's got fucking oomph,
Aye.
like to bring the crowd. And I never thought about that. I just thought, you're good. You deserve to be on first. So go on
there's
first.
Yeah.
so much comparisons between running a wrestling show and running a comedy show, because that opening match needs to bring the energy up. The second act can bring it down a wee bit, make everything calm, and then you get the man after the break that picks it a wee bit up again, but not at the heights of the opener, and then kind of level it out. Fourth match, fifth match, you kind of need it to settle the crowd, to kind of hang it, and then you've got your headline or your main event, and that's what erupts the crowd.
See, I'm actually thinking about that you mentioned about bringing it up in the beginning. It might even be necessarily bringing it up. It might just be the fact that you want someone high energy, explosive, that grabs the attention. So in the first 5-10 minutes, they're like, okay, we're watching this because it's happening.
Aye.
If someone
That's what
quiet
I mean.
goes on that's a bit more reserved, who can be absolutely hilarious, killing it. But you haven't set yourself mentally into that mode of like, right, we sit down, we watch, we don't talk to each other, we're paying attention. Then they can start like, oh, okay. Comedy happening.
I see. I'd never thought about that. Never until somebody mentioned it to me. It's really fascinating.
Oh, like the attention thing and the psychology of crowds when they're in an event. I'm very fascinated by it because of
Psychology. I was a wrestling trainee for 5 years. That's how I know this.
Right.
But
No mentioned.
you ever trained in your life for 5 years?
Hate comments face to face.
Right.
hey, my guy was in those Papa John's, right?
For the day it opened.
He was fucking turning up 2 times a day. Where's your discipline, huh? 5 years, the fuck out of here. Anyway, wrestling.
Sorry.
The psychology of wrestling was just what fascinated me, and I love it so much.
Aye.
And it's like once you learn how to psychologically build a match, build a story, build this, it helps a lot in comedy.
Yeah.
That's how you see a lot of overlap.
Yeah, absolutely. I was thinking about this the other day when it comes to like psychology of things. When you have a room that's spread out, even if you're like energetic and whatever, they're more likely if at some point they're not feeling everything, they start talking to themselves because that's their pals. However, if they're all sitting next to each other, they don't want to be rude necessarily to the person next to them who's not part of the group who might be paying attention. So it's like it also there's a psychology or that group think of like, okay, I'm just gonna fucking behave and watch this. And some of the jokes are not gonna be for me, but I'm just gonna fucking be quiet and pay attention.
Respect.
So That's another thing of like putting people together.
Aye.
They start behaving differently.
I think you should try and write comedy sets like that, where you're talking about the thingy up, the thing, that to your crescendo to your end one kind of thing.
I've tried it, but I'm just obviously not experienced enough to do it. Do you know what I mean? But I have tried it. I have played about with it using the psychology. Like, a generalisation there, a comedy match is the good guy starts beating on the bad guy, gets the crowd to love him, and then so I've tried to get a bit that makes me look brilliant, and then I've tried to get a bit that makes me look like a dick, and then just fucking the big guy off at the end.
Cool.
But I'm not experienced enough to do it. And
I mean, there's something about a crowd that doesn't know you. You want to make sure that they trust you enough first before you start doing the darker, riskier stuff.
Aye, of course. Aye.
That could be that.
Aye.
And then at the end, you want them to leave with a good fucking feeling, so you tell something lighter again.
There's definitely stuff in it. I will play about with me in the next fucking wee while, but I'll just not get enough sort of thingy. I'm still trying to find my feet, do you know what I mean?
Again, we're still learning.
Yeah, 100%.
Anyone that's listening to this podcast, don't take all your tips from us.
No.
Probably take any.
Folk think it's just jokes, don't they? It's like there's so much thought needs to get into when you have to land a joke and when you have to build it up and call back and like one word could fuck up your falsetto.
Yeah.
The inclusion or the missing of it.
Aye. Like, we've all done it. We've all kind of missed it. I missed it a bit that I was doing like a big fucking 2-minute joke and missed it a bit at the start, and I'm like, oh shit.
Fuck that.
Full jokes away, but. Aye.
So it's always annoying when you're like, oh, I've got a really cool callback, and you're like, I've never done the original thing. And you're like midway through saying the thing, you're like, this is we're driving off a cliff here. With no parachute.
So that's just coming towards the end. So do you want to plug your show again?
Sure. 15th of March, Tennant's Bar, Byers Road, 7:30 p.m. Sylas but deadly. Come along. It's about, basically, I cover topics like, I've been in the UK for 10 years, so talk about like cultural similarities and differences. I talk about a bit of mental health stuff, a bit about, I'm turning 30 this year, so I've changed over the past 10 years, throughout my 20s. Anything else? Oh yeah, dating, because, I'm single and turning 30, so I have a lot of horror stories. Some of them are my own fault.
We've all got them, I think. So
yes.
And we've still got our own one, which is 2 days later.
Yeah, on the 17th of March.
2:15 at Van Winkle's West End. Come and see my last ever gig.
Yeah.
We love you.
Aye.
Looking forward to getting my foot right out the pond.
So one show he's just fucking off right after it, never.
That's another whole reason.
You having any drinks after? Like
I've got a gig that night.
Some bar lemonade?
Aye, it will need to be that. Aye.
Like just a quarter of a cup? Or?
And a jelly bean?
Maybe.
Thanks very much Thanks very much for sticking about, Trips. We've been 2.5 days and we've had the wonderful Sylas. Thanks very much. See you later. Cheers.
That was class.